Hi viewers, in this class we are going to discuss the identification characters or distinguished characters of poisonous and non-poisonous snakes or venomous and non-venomous snakes. There are more than 2700 species of snakes are there in the worldwide. Snakes are distributed throughout the tropical and temperate regions of the world. Snakes are absent in New Zealand, Ireland, and some isolated islands. Let us discuss the key factors, otherwise, key for the identification of poisonous and non poisonous snakes. Only some species of snakes are venomous or poisonous. The bite of non-venomous snake leave many small pricks on the skin of the victim as there are no fangs at all. The bite of venomous snake leaves the marks of fangs in addition to the small pricks. Here you can visualize the pricks of upper jaw of the venomous snake and upper jaw of the non-venomous snake. See here, all the small pricks are visible, but here along with the small pricks, we also see somewhat large pricks, two pricks, which are made by the modified maxillary teeth, otherwise the fangs of the upper jaw of the venomous snakes. So there is no difference in the pricks of the lower jaw. So by the presence of two large pricks, along with the small pricks is the identification feature of the bite of the venomous snake. For the identification of poisonous snakes, the following characters to be observed. We will take into consideration the tail, ventrals, and the head region of the snakes. Thereby, by observing all these three characters, we can determine whether the snake is poisonous or non-poisonous. Let us start with the tail. If the tail is laterally compressed, it can be identified as sea snake. All the sea snakes are deadly venomous and all of them are viviparous. They can produce children directly. They never lay the eggs. The best example is Hydrophis enhydrina. See here you can observe there is a laterally compressed tail, and thereby it is adaptation to live in the aquatic environment. It meant for the swimming. Here clearly visualizing the tail region which is laterally compressed. Here also we can see the laterally compressed tail. So this is the main feature of the sea snakes which are deadly venomous. If the tail is cylindrical, it may be venomous or non-venomous. It is a doubtful condition. Whenever the tail is cylindrical, then we will observe the ventrals, abdominal scales of the snake. Ventrals are the abdominal scales. If the ventrals are small, then it is non-venomous snake. If the ventrals are broad but not extend fully across the belly, they are also non-venomous. And if they are broad and extend fully across the belly, and then we will consider it as venomous, or some of the time it may be non-venomous. Let us see the images. So the ventrals are very small, it is the non-venomous, and the ventrals are somewhat broad but not extended up to the lateral sides. Then these are also non-venomous. And if you see here, the ventrals are very large and extended up to the lateral parts of the belly, then we will consider it as a venomous or non-venomous snake. Then we will go for the head region. If the tail is cylindrical and the ventrals are extended up to the belly, then we will observe, in order to confirm whether they are venomous or non-venomous, we will go for the identification of observation of the head region. If the head region is triangular, head is triangular and is covered by small scales, so it may be considered as a true viper. All these vipers are venomous in nature, and in some of them Loreal pit is absent, so they are termed as the pitless vipers. Loreal pit is actually it is a thermoreceptor located in between the nostril and the eye, but some of them they lack the Loreal pit. They do not contain any kind of Loreal pit, so that they are called as a pitless vipers. There are two important Indian pitless vipers are there, namely Russell's viper, otherwise Vipera russelli, and Echis carinata or Pursa. These two are the pitless vipers, Indian pitless vipers. See the characteristic features of the Russell's viper. The subcaudals, that is the beneath side of the tail region, the subcaudals are in two rows. The scales under the tail region, they are in two rows. Dorsal surface of the body shows three rows of large black rings, hence it is known as a chain viper. In the Russell's viper, we will clearly observe that here you can see this is one row of diamond shaped patches which can form a scale, is a line, and this side another another line, and this side another line. So there are three lines of diamond shaped patches, so that hence it is known as the chain viper. Russell's viper is also known as chain viper. Triangular head with small scales. Here also we can see the three rows of patches. And coming to the Echis carinata or Pursa, subcaudals are in a single row. The dorsal scales are keeled or serrated, so that it is known as a saw-scaled viper. And one more important feature of the Pursa or Echis carinata, there is an arrow mark upon the head region. Upon the head region. See, you can see the here. This is the head, and here you see the arrow mark. Echis carinata. Here also you will observe the arrow mark on the head region. This is the specific feature for the identification of the Echis carinata. And if the head is covered by shields, it may be venomous or non-venomous. Then we will observe the Loreal pit, Supralabels, Infralabials. Then we will consider whether it is a venomous or non-venomous snake. Coming to the Loreal pit, if the Loreal pit is present, they are termed as a pit viper. This Loreal pit, which acts like the thermoreceptor, very important bit. Loreal pit acts as a thermoreceptor. Why? Because as the reptiles, as the reptiles, all of them are the poikilothms, and most of them are enemies. Otherwise, preys are mostly aves and mammals. So that aves and mammals are the homeotherms, whereas the snakes are the poikilothms. Due to the presence of the thermoreceptor, they can easily identify the preys like the small chicks, otherwise the birdlings, and as well as rats, mouse. So then they can easily bite, otherwise swallow the small organisms as the prey. So here they acts like the thermoreceptor, and it is located in between the nostril and as well as the eye. Hence the presence of pit viper, presence of the pit, then they are termed as the pit vipers. These are also venomous snakes. The best example is the Ancestrodon himalayanus. It is commonly called as the Himalayan pit viper. Himalayan pit viper. See, here we can clearly observe this is the eye and this is the nostril. This pit is nothing but the Loreal pit, which acts like the thermoreceptor. Here also we will observe Loreal pit in between the nostril and the eye. This is the image of Ancestrodon himalayanus, Himalayan pit viper. Here we can clearly see. Then if we come to the supralabials, if the third supralabial shield is large and touches the eye and the nostril shield, it may be a cobra or coral snake. Supralabial shield means the shield which is present upon the upper lip. Then if you observe the characteristic features of the cobra, this is the supralabials. 1, 2, 3 numbered, no? These are the supralabials. The characteristic features of cobra are hood is present, and hood is the dilation of neck supported by ribs. The best example is a naza, which is commonly called as the common Indian cobra. Hood bears spectacle mark on dorsal surface. It may be biocellus or monoocellus. A small cunate plate is present between the 4th and 5th infralabials of the cobra, and the subcaudals are in 2 rows. These are the specialties of cobra. Here there is a dilation of neck region and ribs forms the hood, and it is a spectacle mark, biocellus spectacle mark on the dorsal surface of the hood, and some of them they contain only one ocellus, monoocellus spectacle mark. Coming to the king cobra, the scientific name is Ophiophagus hanna. It denotes that Ophio means snake, phagus means eats. That is, it feeds upon other snakes. Hood is with transverse strips. Subcaudals are in a single row, whereas in the cobra there are 2 rows. Subcaudals are in a single row at the cloacal region, whereas 2 rows in the remaining region of the tail. That is the specialty of the king cobra. Here you can see this is the caudal region. At the cloaca only 1 row. After that all the 2 rows of the subcaudals. So this is the Ophiophagus hanna, otherwise the king cobra. This is a dangerous wild animal which can grow up to 12 to 15 feet in length, commonly called as a king cobra. So these are the horizontal strips upon the hood. If the hood is absent, coral spots are present on the belly, then that is known as a coral snake. The scientific name is Chelophysis. Chelophysis is the coral snake. So this is the image of coral snake. And if the red and yellow bands are side by sidely arranged, and that is highly venomous, it kills a fellow. And if the black touches the yellow, previously that is red and yellow, they are side by side, but it is black and yellow side by side, it is a friendly fellow. It never causes any damage to any harm to the organisms. It is a simple tip. Red and yellow kills a fellow. So then we can identify the venomous coral snake. And come to the infralabials. If there are 4 infralabials and the 4th is larger one, then it is called as the crate. So these are the infralabials. Then in the crate, the identification characters are mid dorsal sheets are large and hexagonal, looks like the benzene, like this, hexagonal in shape. Subcaudals are in a single row. The venom of crate is more toxic than the cobra if it is of about 14 times more toxic. 14 times more toxic than the cobral venom. The venom of crate is more toxic than the cobra, and the example is Bungarus. There are 2 species, Bungarus fasciatus and Bungarus ceruleus. Bungarus ceruleus is commonly called as the common crate. The dorsal surface is bluish or brownish black with narrow white cross streaks. These are commonly seen in the rural areas. This is the Bungarus ceruleus, bluish or brownish black with the white streaks. With the white streaks. So the common crate, otherwise Indian crate, Catuvirian, steel blue snake, fourth infralabial is large and predominantly neurotoxic. Predominantly neurotoxic. And Bungarus fasciatus, which is commonly called as the banded crate. This banded crate marked with alternative broad black and yellowish rings, which are seen in the mountainous regions and other thick forest regions. So black and yellow bands. This is the banded crate. These are all the distinguished characters of poisonous and non-poisonous snakes. Thank you one and all.